regions. Ms. Dalomo stated that Siemens is already engaged in Ethiopia, focused on the energy sector, with which it is currently executing the Kenya-Ethiopia interconnect in Sodo. She further elaborated that her organization is working on industrial solutions for sugar, cement, oil, and gas industries, according to the Office of the President. According to Ms. Dalomo, Siemens focuses on energy generation, transmission, and distribution wherever a necessity in the country's economic endeavor. The president, on her part, said Ethiopia is ready to host potential investors with due focus on societal needs. Dalomo worked in Siemens for over 25 years, and she got her higher commercial certificate in 1985 and also vocational training at Siemens. By the way, Siemens was established by Werner von Siemens in 1847 and headquartered in München and Berlin. German President Frank-Walter Steinmeier wrapped up his four-day official state visit, comprising a delegation of several heads of German companies to Ethiopia. President Steinmeier praised the courageous steps Prime Minister Dr. Abiy Ahmed undertook to shed light on the domestic politics, triggering a sweeping political, economic reforms with a fast pace to rejuvenate a plethora of matters such as good governance, inclusive democracy, a wider political space, stepping up Ethiopia's defining moment of democracy into a viable continental success, championing the hearts and minds of Ethiopians. The Prime Minister emphasized Ethiopia's firm grip to accelerate growth through a concerted effort redressing youth job creation and opportunities, according to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Ethiopia. President Steinmeier admired the paramount Ethio-Eritrea peace accord, which became historic and extraordinary jubilation for the people of two countries that spurred a powerful wind of hope blowing steadily in the Horn of Africa, a model for peace, normalcy, and growth through the wisdom and leadership of Prime Minister Dr. Abiy Ahmed. He also struck the dialogue with President Sahle-Work Zewde, expressing Germany's full-fledged support to Ethiopia's reform process at a critical time for strengthening mutual interests between Ethiopia and Germany. President Frank-Walter Steinmeier was the military of Germany in 1974 to 76 and got his degree in law and political science from Gießen University and has got one daughter. A high-level Ethiopian delegation headed by Foreign Minister of Ethiopia, Dr. Worqineh Gebeyehu, wrapped up the 15th session of the Ethio-Djibouti Joint Ministerial Commission meeting. In the closing remarks, the higher-level expertise Minister Dr. Worqineh commended the excellent and practical commitment on both sides to polish the existing partnership platforms and explore potential channels of joint cooperation in education, health, investment, business, and railroad transport sectors. Foreign Minister of Djibouti, Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, on his part, expressed his immense appreciation of the role model of Ethio-Djibouti bilateral ties on the economic, political, social, education, investment, and business spheres. He said, quote, Ethiopia and Djibouti enjoy a common vision, a shared history, and both countries should work further ahead to upscale bilateral ties based on mutual interests, mutual respect, and mutual benefits. Both sides agreed on the 16th Ethio-Djibouti Joint Ministerial Commission to take place in Finfinne city here in Ethiopia. Ethiopia and Djibouti, two countries sharing one people. Finfinne City Administration, the capital of Ethiopia and Oromia, has held tax revenue movement program to aware the public the benefit attached to paying tax genuinely. The city administration has also cancelled overtaxation debt imposed on 6,000 business persons. Let us erase as more.
Finfinne City Administration held the tax revenue movement program under the theme Finfinne belongs to me. I will make what I can for it and demand what I deserve. The city administration has been making reform to bring modernized tax system, which in turn helps taxpayers develop the culture of tax paying by their own interest. Thus, the program would inspire the city administration's move. Deputy Mayor of the city, Engineer Takale Uma, on the occasion appreciated the exemplary deed of the taxpayers who paid tax honestly. He said the started tax system reform is succeeded by honest taxpayers. Engineer Takale stressed that the newly introduced taxation reform will enable taxpayers to pay tax as per their income.
Since we know the capacity of taxpayers in our city, we want them to pay tax in proportion to their income, not to get them into undesired crisis.
The city administration on the event has cancelled over-taxation debt imposed on 6,000 business persons and exposed to various problems since the 2010. State Minister of Revenue Ahmad Abdi Ahmed said the tax revenue movement program launched by Prime Minister Dr. Abiy Ahmed at national level in December of 2018 will continue to zonal and district level, expressing the significance of taxation in responding to public demand and ensuring fair economic benefit. He said tax evasion was seen as wiseness, since the culture of tax paying by own initiation was not developed well. Hereafter it should be history, he stressed.
Taxation is very important for a given country to bring sustainable development and preserve the country.
Finfinne City Administration Revenue Authority Director Shimalis Gabriselase for his part stressed the importance of tax collection to enable the city provide swift and quality service for its residents. Some people in attendance of the event said that tax evasion and fraud is not good.
Finfinne City, like I said, is a center or capital of Ethiopia and capital of Oromo Region State, and also a seat of many international missions and embassies. UN resident and humanitarian coordinator to Ethiopia, Aeneas Chipinga Chuma, said the United Nations is committed to support the ongoing, impressive reforms of Ethiopia and resolve unintended consequences and challenges in the country. We'll go on to more of the story.
The United Nations is committed to support the ongoing impressive reforms of Ethiopia and resolve unintended consequences and challenges in the country, UN resident and humanitarian coordinator to Ethiopia, Aeneas Chipinga Chuma said. In an exclusive interview with Ethiopian news agency, Chuma said the UN, the entire African countries and the whole world have been impressed by the reforms initiated by Prime Minister Dr. Abiy last year.
And there's tremendous interest in supporting those reforms to ensure that they succeed, because they're very progressive, they create democratic space, they create opportunities for peace, they create rapprochement with several countries in the region that historically were in conflict.
He mentioned the relationship between Eritrea and Ethiopia as a particular example of reconciliation. According to him, UN recognizes that there was tremendous work that needs to be done to make sure that the reforms could sustainably succeed.
By and large, we are very optimistic. There are positive reforms and we want to support them. But we recognize the challenges and we want to work with the government to overcome these challenges.
Opening up political space and gender parity in the cabinet were stated among the accomplishments by the government of Ethiopia. He stressed that the recent dispensation provides an incredible historical opportunity to transform this country. All these things are so big accomplishments in a very short period of time, but they are very significant and powerful, he added. Chuma, however, quickly noted that I'm not saying this is perfect. These things need to be done and go forward. But this is a trust and positive to be supported, he pointed out. Despite the accomplishments, he elaborated that one of the dire consequences of reform is the increase of communal conflicts that resulted in higher number of internal displaced people.
All in our discussions, what we highlight with the government is that there are certain international human rights principles that must be observed in returning people to their place of displacement. These include that you cannot force them. They have to be willing to return. And secondly, that we have to make sure that the conditions allow for a successful return.
According to him, one of the concerns is that they feel insecure about the areas of displacement. The government's responsibility is to provide security in those areas. Chuma stated his organization has really an excellent relationship with the government. Since Dr. Abiy Ahmed became the premier last April, the country lifted the state of emergency, released thousands of prisoners, allowed dissidents to return home, and unblocked hundreds of websites and TV channels, among others, in just few months.
Ethiopia is the first country to found the League of Nations in 1923 and also the United Nations in 1945, the first African country. Vice President of the Oromia Regional State, Tayyiba Hassan, who is also coordinator of social cluster of the region, said the public should properly use the newly inaugurated development projects with care. Jaldu Hospital, which was built at a cost of over 55 million birr, has been inaugurated, where the remark came out. We'll go on to more the story.
Jaldu Hospital, which was built at a cost of more than 55 million birr, has been inaugurated by Vice President of the Oromia Regional State, who is also coordinator of social cluster, Tayyiba Hassan, and head of the Oromia Health Bureau, Dr. Daraje Duguma. The hospital has been started rendering service for the nearby community by fulfilling all the necessary equipment and health professionals. The delegation, led by Vice President of the Oromia Regional State, Tayyiba Hassan, has paid a visit to all activities in the hospital. Local residents who are beneficiary of the hospital services witness that the hospital has been saving them from unnecessary expenditure.
Previously, we were suffering a lot due to absence of health facilities in our area, but now we are getting all the necessary services from our new hospital.
Health professionals who are working in the hospital said the hospital has fulfilled all the necessary equipment.
We have fulfilled all the necessary human power and equipments for service delivery. We have 10 health professionals, 3 ICO professionals, and 30 nurses, so we can deliver a special service for our community.
Head of West Shore Don Health Center, Ababe Chamada, said there are 8 hospitals in the Don and they are all contributing their level best in providing health care for the community.
We have 8 hospitals which are rendering services for the community in our zone. One is a referral hospital. The other 3 are medium hospitals, whereas the remaining are primary hospitals. We are also constructing the 9th hospital in one district, and I hope it will start services in the near future.
Head of the Oromia Health Bureau, Dr. Daraje Duguma, said the government is working on expanding quality hospitals for the community.
Now, 79 hospitals are rendering services for the public. In this year alone, the Bureau has inaugurated 12 hospitals and started services. If you take Jaldu Hospital, it will serve more than 700,000 people. Now, it is serving 10,000 individuals. The hospital has been saving the community from transport costs.
Vice President of the Oromia Regional State, who is also coordinator of social cluster, Tayyiba Hassan, on the occasion underscored that the community should benefit and protect the hospital.
Our community should support and protect the development projects. This hospital has been inaugurated by the help of Jaldu residents and farmers, so our community should protect the hospital for a better service.
Coordinator of a culture cluster with the rank of Vice President of the Oromia Regional State, Dr. Girma Amente, revealed that the government is seriously working to expand renewable energy sources in the region. The Tulu Moye Geothermal Company has discussed with its stakeholders ways of further developing geothermal energy in Oromia region. Mukhtar Haji reports.
Tulu Moye Geothermal Limited Company is working to generate geothermal energy in Hetosa and the Dodota district of Arsi Zone. Company has prepared a workshop to discuss with the stakeholders ways of launching this work in the stated areas. According to the research presented on the workshop, Ethiopia has not been benefited from the geothermal energy available in the country. But now the country is showing more interest to attract investors to invest on geothermal energy to produce renewable energy and alleviate shortage of electric power supply in the country. On the workshop, founder of Tulu Moye and the Corbeti Geothermal Company, Najib Ababi Assad, Tulu Moye and the Corbeti Geothermal Company has been working to produce electric power from geothermal sources in 2020.
This project is very big, is highly complex, and it's not something that we can build on our own. We need partnership with the Ethiopian government, with the parliament or the government approves it. It will take us probably 6 months to mobilize the rigs, and probably about the same amount, about 1 year in total, to order turbines and to start production maybe in a year and a half.
Chief Executive Officer of Tulimoye and Corbeti Geothermal Company, Barry Body and Evans said Ethiopia has a massive potential of geothermal energy as some of its power is located in the Great East African Rift Valley.
It's massive potential capacity. Ato Ahmed Sisa from Oromo Regional Government gave a presentation earlier today that went through the solar, wind, geothermal and other natural resource potential. And there's up to 7 gigawatts of electrical power generation potential, plus a lot of then spin-off benefits for direct use of that energy, possibly in agriculture, agri-processing, industry. So Ethiopia sits on this vast potential. There's 4 phases overall, so there's a 8-year development and construction for hopefully a $2 billion investment overall. Phase 1 focuses on the first 50 megawatts of generating electrical power and is about a $260 million investment.
With the rank of Vice President of the Oromia Regional State and the Coordinator of Agricultural Clusters, Dr. Gima Amante said his government has been working by giving due attention to renewable energy.
Our country has set a strategy of green economic development using renewable energy sources to speed up development. Geothermal energy is one of our sources of renewable source, which is much available in the Oromia regional state as a result of being in Rift Valley. Still, we could not use much energy of our geothermal as equal as we had it. But hereafter, we will produce much energy from geothermal, which would make us first in Africa by the sector.
Ethiopia has high potential in geothermal, especially in the Rift Valley. Corbeti and Aluto Langano are the best instances for that. You've been watching OBN, coming to live from Adama, Oromia, Ethiopia. Thanks for watching. Have a good time. Bye-bye.